Number 1. Sulfurous underground aquifers, salt mountains, and corrosive pools probably won't sound extremely welcoming. However, they draw in an enormous number of guests to Ethiopia every year who need to see the Danakil Depression face to face. These incorporate travelers, salt excavators and researchers. Truth be told, salt diggers actually head out by camel procession to remove salt sections from the level plans around Lake Afar. It is perhaps the most smoking put on Earth and one of the least. At 400 feet beneath ocean level, the Danakil Depression scene came about because of the continuous disparity of three structural plates and has a complex topographical history that incorporates volcanic movement, disintegration, immersion by the sea and rising and falling of the earth. The tremendous plain is strange to such an extent that analysts did an examination in 2016 to decide if microorganisms would rear within the hot and unfriendly climate. It worked out that they did. And this drove researchers to puzzle over whether they would likewise have the option to make dew on Mars, the sulfur springs of Dalal structure part of the depression and an extraordinary vacation spot as individuals love looking on while neon green and yellow fluid is released from the rocks. If you are searching for a vacation with a distinction, and love getting up right on time, this may very well be the location for you. Make certain to take durable footwear along. Number 2. Elevated tide is the best and ideal opportunity to visit the target town in Samoa and request that the occupants go with you to the Alofaga blowholes. These blowholes are the consequence of magma streams that made submerged caverns. Over the long haul, these caverns developed upwards until they became burrows that permitted the sea to associate with the stone face above. As the ocean water breaks toward the finish of one of these passages, it races through it at rapid, emitting through the opening at the top in a water spout that arrives at 20 meters and more. To add to the fun, the inhabitants of Targetown will toss a coconut in the opening in the stone face and watch the travelers in entertainment as they pant when the water shoots the coconut in any event 100 feet into the. Number 3. Extending out at 16,024 feet over the Indonesian wilderness, the Carstens Pyramid is the most elevated and presumably most extraordinary island top on the planet. The pyramid is an enormous limestone ledge situated in western Papua and the most distant of the 7 summits. Connection 6. Its tallness has been the wellspring of some discussion, with some navigational air maps expressing it to be 16,503 feet. There are a few ice sheets on the slants of the mountain, with many having withdrawn and vanished in the course of recent years. Back in 1623, the individuals of Holland didn't trust John Carstens, a Dutch wayfarer, when he disclosed to them he had seen ice and snow close to the highest point of the pyramid. This was a direct result of the mountain's vicinity to the equator. Carstens and his team were the primary Europeans to look at the mountain. Climbing the mountain is a test that the daring will relish, as it takes a serious long effort to traverse the tropical wilderness just to arrive at the base. Therefore, the best and ideal opportunity to endeavor a trip is among April and November. The mountain was first vanquished in 1962 when Austrian mountain climber Heinrich Harrer drove a campaign to the top. Harrer was additionally the creator of the blockbuster 7 Years in Tibet. These days, admittance to the mountain is just allowed through experience. The travel industry organizations and an administration grant is required. Number 4. Jamaica, well known for being the origin of Bob Marley and Usain Bolt, Jamaican rum, and Blue Mountain espresso, is an immensely famous traveler objective. Here you will encounter brilliant nearby food, be edified on the historical backdrop of privateers, and find awesome seashores at the point when the climate is acceptable. You can likewise go on a boat outing out on the luminous lagoon around evening time and trust that enchantment will occur. At the point when the water of the tidal pond is blended, it illuminates in shades of glowing blue. This is a direct result of a flourishing populace of infinitesimal dinoflagellates that live in the tidal pond. Boat visits lead from the glistening waters marina, and you're even permitted to hop into the water and swim while encompassed by the brilliant sparkle. Number 5. If you ever find yourself in Russia, and if you're not claustrophobic, get yourself a special government permit and take a tour of the abandoned Yekaterinburg salt mine. Inside you will find psychedelic natural formations of kyanite layers along the walls, floors, and ceilings in yellow, white, red, and blue. Millions of years ago, a very salty sea completely dried up and left behind these kyanite mineral deposits. https://www.miningglobal.com/smart-mining/slideshow-stunning-photos-salt-mine-Russia. The stripy formations lie 650 feet below the surface and were first introduced to the public when photographer Mikhail Mishanik spent more than 20 hours exploring the mine and taking several pictures. He described the experience as being constantly thirsty and losing all track of time. Number 6. Monte Fitzroy lies in the southern Patagonian ice field and stretches 3,375 meters above ocean level. In 1877, Francisco Morena named the mountain Fitzroy out of appreciation for the commander of the HMS Beagle, Robert Fitzroy. This glorious mountain is likewise called Cerro Chalten, with Cerro signifying slope, and Chalten importance smoking mountain. The Smoking Mountain moniker comes from the conviction that the mountain was a fountain of liquid magma as its pinnacle is generally covered by mists. At dawn Fitzroy assumes the shade of pink roses. Yvonne Tunid summited Fitzroy in 1968 and was so in amazement of this stunning characteristic marvel that he utilized the state of the mountain to rouse the logo of his attire image, Patagonia. In the event that you are feeling courageous and up to ascending a mountain on your next occasion, you should attempt Fitzroy, yet be cautioned, it is viewed as quite possibly the most testing moves on the planet. Number 7. To the extent seashore getaways go, islands are at the highest point of the list of things to get for most voyagers. White sand seashores and sea blue waters never get old. Thus, Hawaii is a supported travel location with its emerald green tints, shining oceans, fantastic cooking, and delightful culture. It is in Hawaii, on the island of Kauai, that you can have the getaway that should not be taken lightly. Visiting the Napali coast, here you will discover incredible seashores, climbing trails, and emotional precipice faces. Also archaeological locales. You can climb to the Napali coast through the Kalalau Trail or drive to Poly Hale Beach or Key Beach where you will have a shocking perspective on the coastline. You can even recruit a kayak or mechanized boat to investigate the coast through the ocean, setting aside some effort to swim in transit there, on the off chance that you need a really all-round experience. You can take a helicopter visit which will permit you to see a few of the significant valleys along the Napali coast from an aeronautical point of view. Number 8. While the Needles isn't the most energizing sounding name, it has a place with quite possibly the most delightful regular miracles on the planet. The Needles is the name of 3 chalk stacks that crosses the focal point of the Isle of Wight. Lamentably, venture out isn't allowed to these uncommon rocks, as a result of perilous tides. However, they make for phenomenal review from the headland. Originally there were 4 rocks, yet one fell during an enormous tempest in 1764. The Needles were so named due to that 4th shake that was molded as a needle and called Hart's Wife. The name stuck, despite the fact that the leftover 3 rocks don't distantly take after Needles. The hole where Lot's wife jutted from the ocean is effectively perceivable and resembles a missing tooth from an enormous mouth. Number 9. Ocean stacks are geographical landforms that jut from the ocean and are constantly shaped by wave disintegration. These developments make for emotional survey, particularly the enormous ones. The absolute most amazing ocean stacks remember Bull's Pyramid for Australia, the Sleeping Leon in Ecuador, and the Old Man of Hoy in Scotland. If you're arranging an excursion to Iceland, you ought to incorporate an outing to the Troll of Northwest Iceland on your agenda. This impressive ocean stack stands 50 meters seaward on Vatnsnes Ness promontory. A few sightseers have compared the structure to an enormous creature drinking water, with many saying it looks like a dinosaur. Legend, in any case, has it that the ocean stack, officially known as Het Circular, was a savage who lived in Strandir in the West Fjords. The savage had one objective, and that was to destroy the chimes at a close-by community, as Icelandic savages scorn temples and their ringers. Before the savage could show his shrewd arrangement, he was gotten by the initial beams of the dawn and transformed into stone. Number 10. Should your movements lead you to China, the Yellow Dragon Gully, Huanglong Public Park, is an unquestionable requirement visit. This stunning travertine spreads through the woods and ice sheets in Huanglong Valley. Some state like a colossal, brilliant, mythical serpent. The beginning stage is at the Buddhist sanctuary at the highest point of the valley, and it closes at the guest welcome pond. Over time, the common pools here, framed by calcite stores, change tone from yellow to green or blue and even earthy colored. The valley was announced a World Heritage Site in 1992, while investigating the Yellow Dragon Gully. You may experience Sichuan brilliant scorn-nosed monkeys or even Goliath pandas. A trolley is accessible during high-top vacationer seasons, and there is a wooden promenade along the travertine which is available to visitors. Just remember that the temperature on normal is 7 degrees Celsius consistently, so you should pack an extremely thick coat or two. Thanks for watching our channel. Don't forget to subscribe.